Hey, what's up, guys? This is ZacJacDan. I'm here with a C3-T podcast. C3-T stands for Carolina Collectors Connection. T stands for Toy Talk Time. And we will be talking about toys, movies, anything comic related, because we guys here in the Carolinas love the comics, love hanging out with each other and talking about it. I want to introduce the other guys here. We have to the right here, Man Cave Collectibles. You'll say hey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We have Wally down here in the left laughing at us.
What's happening?
We have Custom Comics over here on the right.
Hello, fellow YouTubers.
All right, cool. Well, let's jump into. We got our greetings out of the way. Let's jump into what everybody pick up this week. Wally, what you got? Did you get anything new this week?
Oh man, got me a little beautiful storm here. Kicking it with me. Not real big on some of the figures, the legends and things, but grab that and the Iron Man. You guys were educating me on. Oh, my friend fell off the shelf, but a couple cool figures and a couple art books, just a little small light stuff to keep you motivated. That's all.
Cool, man. Daniel, what you got, man?
I picked up the Sugar Man Build-A-Figure wave, and if you go out to Zach Legend, you'll see my son has already done reviews on it and everything on the whole wave. So go out and check this guy out. This guy's massive and probably one of the best Build-A-Figures that they've done, especially this year.
I got to agree with you, man. That's an awesome Build-A-Figure. It really, he don't fit in anywhere except really AOA, to be honest with you, in the storyline that I can remember. Do you remember him ever being anywhere besides Age of Apocalypse?
Yes, he's been crossing over lately.
So he has. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Ross, you got anything, bud?
No, not really. I'm still in bankruptcy after dealing with you, Philip.
That's that Hero Karakuri, man.
Yeah, I'm still in bank. No, seriously though, I'm still waiting on some pre-orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I did pick up a few things that I want to show you guys. So I picked up from Big Bad Toy Store. I got the T800. This is the ultimate version, which it's a figure that's been out a while, as well as the Ultimate Predator. This is the Jungle Predator. So pretty cool figures. Also, I picked up a little nostalgia recently that I'll share with you guys. I don't know if any of y'all read The Max growing up.
Sam
that was pretty cool comic book there. We got the New Mutants number 100. Let's see, I'm trying to keep it where we can see it with that glare. But the New Mutants number 100 here, which is that's first appearance of X-Force is what that is. Picked up a couple copies actually of X-Force number 1, which, man, I read the absolute heck out of those when I was growing up. Yeah. Then I kind of went on a little image spree. Picked up Savage Dragon number 1. I picked up Youngblood number 1. So if you remember, all these were books that came out of the Todd McFarlane, the famous Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld divorce from Marvel back in the day. And then I picked this up because as a kid, this was one of my favorite covers when I was a kid. I remember thinking that this was an awesome cover. It's the first time Deadpool and Wolverine ever fought. So none of those are very high priced books. They're pretty cheap. You can find most of them in the $5 bin, but they were pretty cool. And then today I picked up the Dark Knight's, what is it? The Dark Knight's Death Metal, number 1. So I'm looking forward. I hadn't read that yet. And then something that is a super hot book right now, picked up today, is Miles' first solo comic, number 1 right here. Got this from Hero.
would you say that he's increased in attention because of the game announcement?
100%, man. 100%. I think people are going to go crazy for this guy in the coming months, and it's going to lead to Hollywood as well. We're going to have us a true Miles Morales movie at some point, hopefully in the near future. That was not as valuable as like his first appearance, which is in Fallout.
Right.
But if you don't want to drop the $200 or $300, it's probably going to cost you to get a Fallout. You can pick up the number one of his solo. So that's what I had for the week. Let's move on into our toy news. Let's see here. Go ahead and pop some pictures up on the screen for you guys. All right, can everybody see what we got pulled up there?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Wally, let's talk about it.
Man, well, I'm a fan of Batman, of course, and I like seeing different takes on them. Sean Gordon Murphy is an artist I stumbled onto a few years back, and it was interesting to see him get no attention when he was trying to do everything a certain way, and then kind of do his own thing and start getting all the attention. So the White Knight run he did, I thought was pretty well illustrated. Pretty cool story, but definitely well illustrated. So when I found out McFarlane was doing these figures, it seemed cool because McFarlane is one of my favorite artists in general. So for him to be taking another artist that I respect and making toys, I thought that was pretty awesome. So this is the Batman from that series. Well, it was 2 series I think he did, the White Knight, and then another one after that. Well, this is the 2nd series actually. So, pretty much followed his designs to a T. I love seeing toys that look like the drawings. You know what I mean? I just like the articulation, the design, the cape. Another favorite design with I always say his name wrong. Azrael.
Yep.
Yeah. I always thought his design was cool from the beginning, and I think Murphy did a slight change up of it here and there, but it's still pretty much true to the original. So these are coming in either a set or you can get them individually. I think they're $20 a piece individually, and like maybe $59.99 if you get the whole set right now. I think it's supposed to come out this month as well. Of course, Joker here, or Jack.
That Joker with the stone, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, Joker's nice. It's different.
It's interesting how McFarlane's releasing these though, because we got that first wave that had I think 11 or 12 figures in it.
True.
Yeah.
And then after that, we've just kind of been getting pieces here and there. We got the 2 Wonder Womans, you got the 2 variant Batmans, you got these 3 from the White Knight. I don't really know how he's doing his distribution.
It's almost like, what's the wave? Is it just random figures? There's no real wave anymore, or is it? Are they actually all? Are the Arkham figures the same as the White Knight figures? Is that all the same wave, or what? What's going on? I'm with Daniel. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I almost feel like he's just kind of picking and choosing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. Hey, you can't argue with the guy. The guy knows what he's doing. All right, next up.
I believe it was originally called, it was Generation Toys. I want to say it was Gravity Builder maybe, but it's pretty much Devastator, a third-party Devastator. Phil, you put me onto the fact that they was releasing this at a super low price because I've got a couple of these individually and they were almost $100 a piece back when I got them. So now you get the whole set to build Devastator for $269, which is phenomenal from the price that it used to be, which would have it listed at $629. But these are some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best third-party takes on Transformer toys. Like, they're sturdy, they're durable, they feel good in hand, they feel good to transform, and I could never complete the set. So now I'm real tempted to go ahead and drop a couple hundred to get this because I really just want a really well-built Devastator figure. So I'm looking forward to it, personally.
I tell you what, man, you almost could maybe drop yours on eBay for $75, $100 a piece for people that don't want to, they don't want to buy the entire set. They're just needing 1 or 2 to kind of piece in. I mean, I almost cover your whole Devastator,
That's true. That might be the move.
Yeah. So yeah, I
If
agree.
there was any combiner, if there's any combiner I'll be adding to my collection, it would be a Devastator.
100%, man. And the Generation toy is amazing. I actually think the Generation toy, to me, the toy world is the best Devastator combiner, third party. But when it comes to bot mode, I think Generation toy is hands down the best. It is my favorite bot mode in third party. So,
and they're hard to explain until someone until a person actually holds them and touches how they're, the material that they're made out of. Like, it's really hard to describe, but once you see them in person, you really get that feeling. The other thing I love about Generation Toy is their box designs are always really cool too.
Yeah, that's true. It's not Hasbro. A lot of people hear third party, and I think it's just they've not been educated truly on what third party is, and they think third party, they think KO. Well, it's not KO.
Right.
You put a Hasbro figure in your hand that you buy in Target, and you put a third party figure in your hand that's a Zeta Toys or even a Toy World or whoever. Totally different. Fans Toys. These third party companies, man, they're head over heels better than Hasbro in quality.
Right.
So, all right. So moving in to our next item, Ross. What we got here, man?
Yeah, that's the NECA King Kong, the NECA version. And as you can see, look like he's gonna have, over 30 points of articulation. He's gonna be about 8 inches tall. And the reason why I do like NECA, because you get great sculpt, and they're getting better with their articulation. And this particular figure is gonna be 8 inches tall, so he's, good size. He comes with 2 head sculpts, 2 open hands, 2 closed fist hands, and yeah, he looks good though.
Now, do we actually know is he based on like Kong Skull Island, or is he just a generic King Kong figure?
It looks more like a classic.
Okay.
I don't think when I was reading it was like a Skull Island King Kong. It just looked like a classic King Kong.
Gotcha. And that maybe that was the way they secured the rights, was stay away from the movie. We're going to do just a generic classic King Kong.
Right.
You though, I love.
Where does this scale with the NECA Godzillas?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
I think NECA Godzilla's standing about 7 inches tall, so it's not going to be a good scale because he's going to be 8 inches tall. Yeah. So it won't be a good scale.
They'll be neck and neck though.
Yeah. They'll be.
Yeah, which I believe Godzilla should be a whole lot bigger than King Kong, if I'm not mistaken.
Especially it depends on which version of the movies you base it on too. Right. Like the Skull Island King Kong is probably going to be neck and neck with.
Right. That was huge.
He's huge, but if you go back, to the King Kongs we watched growing up as kids, and even well before us, that our parents watched growing up.
Right.
You said, King Kong would come up to Godzilla's maybe his thigh,
Right.
So yeah, I guess it's going to depend on where you're drawing your history from. All right, next up we got Ross.
Oh yeah, the Ultimate Alpha Predator, and he is the 100th edition of the NECA Predators, and it's crazy, 100 Predators. So NECA be throwing out the Predators, which he's also going to be 8 inches tall with over 30 points of articulation, and of course, I'm dealing with Big Bad, so everybody gonna throw a review on this guy before I even get him. So I'm sure everybody will know about him, but he's supposed to have better ankle articulation, mid-torso articulation. But as I was reading, they saying this was the first original design concept of the first Predator they made. So I think that was pretty cool. The 100th edition, they come out with this design. It's pretty cool. And he come with a lot of accessories too.
Well, and you see this guy's pre-order is already sold out at Big Bad.
Right. And I'm in that. I got mine. I'm just waiting.
Man, you might be better off hunting Target shelves. You might find it at Target before you get it from Big Bad.
So how many of these NECA Predators do you have?
I think I got over 40 right now. So I don't have them all, but I just get the main ones like, you know, City Hunter, Jungle Hunter. They just, man, I have to turn around and look at all these damn things. It's a lot of them, man. But yeah,
this is gonna be one of the
bone claws.
Right here.
He got a removable mask too. So I thought I seen Daredevil review and did amazing, and damn, man, he's badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's his mask there. I love them bone claws on his wrist, man. That looks really good.
He got bone claws, and you can also add spikes to them bone claws. It's crazy, man. He looks good.
I got you. $29.99, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right, Big Daniel. Here's some X-Men for us.
All right, so we got some statues going on here with these battle diorama X-Men. Here's the Sabretooth. They just kept on popping these things out to us this last few weeks, and I just love the way these things look. I'm not a statue person, but when it comes to X-Men, and especially whenever I saw this Sabretooth, I was like, oh, wow, these are nice. Got that Omega Red. They're about $180 each, 1/10 scale. Just very pretty. I mean, I got to say, man, look pretty.
Right.
They do. Iron Studios is top notch as well. That's a strong company they're coming from. I've actually got multiples of these already pre-ordered. I'm hoping to actually get them all, but I've got a few already actually pre-ordered. There's I don't know if y'all have paid any attention. There's also like the big Sentinel. Have you seen that, Daniel? That these kind of
I've seen that. So that's what this is about, is the battle diorama, right?
Yeah, these are the battle diorama, and the way Iron Studios has made them, they made them in a fashion that you can buy the Sentinel, which is about $1,300, and the Sentinel's huge. He's scaled 1/10 with these guys, and then you can build them around him. Basically, choose and pick the ones you want, to be facing off with the Sentinel. But they also made them in a way you don't have to do the Sentinel if you just want to.
Well, that was what I thought was interesting about this, was the fact that we had the Sabretooth and Omega Red and the Pyro in this.
Yeah, it's true, because that's not even, they wouldn't typically be fighting a Sentinel.
Now, it's interesting. Did you notice the Bishop is $199 versus $179?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Wonder what makes it that. Be interested to know, because to me, I don't see him being any bigger than a Sabretooth or an Omega Red.
No, he's definitely not bigger.
So I don't know if maybe the intricacies of the gun, is that another $20? I don't know.
And you got this Pyro. This Pyro looks amazing.
Yes.
And look at that, he's $20 cheaper.
I'm not normally a fan of Pyro, but this figure looks amazing. I mean, this statue looks amazing.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Especially the detail in the costume.
Yeah. Then you got the Emma Frost.
Oh, and
that's an interesting look to her hands there on that previous picture. It's like it had a light up effect. I don't know what's up with that.
No, because
I was about to ask.
If you look in that picture, it doesn't appear it's there. But something also too that's interesting. She's like 174, and if you look at her, it's a fairly simplistic statue. It's kind of a museum pose, more or less. So the pricing is a little wonky on these, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that also 1/10 scale too?
Those are all 1/10 scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Moving on.
So speaking of prices and gouging, McFarlane is not gouging any prices at all with these figures, and this is one of the Devastator from the Dark Knight's Metal. Huge, and he's going to be a single carded $20 figure, just like all the rest of them.
Right.
Crazy.
How tall is this one going to be, Daniel?
I don't know the height on it, and I haven't shown it, but you know how whenever you're doing your reviews on them, they were pretty much all like the same height. So that'd be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a normal McFarlane figure around about 7 inches tall. But he looks huge.
And I'd say he's probably still he's all of 7, if not 8.
Yeah.
But he's just got the girth on him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks good though.
All the McFarlane figures I'd reviewed previously, me and Daniel had some extensive talks about them. The Nightwing, the Batgirl, the Batman Who Laughs, they all were the same height. Even though they're little cards that come out, McFarlane puts this little card you can see here out with them. The card had them all at different heights. You know, Batman's 6'3", you know, Batgirl was like 5'10". Then you stand them beside each other and they're identical in height, you know, so it kind of bothered me a little bit. So I don't know.
So here's the Murder Machine. It's kind of like a cyborg / Batman from a different reality. He's got that attachment for his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the Dawnbreaker. It's like a Green Lantern version. He's got that construct that he comes with.
What's up with his mouth? Is that how he looked in the comic?
Yeah.
He kind of had that smirk.
Mm-hmm. And then you got the Grim Knight with all his guns. I don't think I've ever seen a figure with these kind of guns before. Since back in the 3 3/4 G.I. Joes, I hadn't seen a gun like that with the grenade launcher there.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It looks good, loaded up.
I like how they did those guns on his back. You know, they're not separate guns; they're all molded together. But I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, he could take the Punisher. I think he could take the Punisher on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so my third topic is the Hasbro 6-inch G.I. Joes. And they showed off from Wave 2. We're going to be getting a Cobra Commander. And guys, I don't know. What do y'all think? If y'all remember G.I. Joe at all, what do y'all think about that helmet right there?
The helmet?
Yes.
I don't remember it being as angled, but maybe I'm just not remembering. It's supposed to be based on the classic?
Well, they loosely based them on classics and kind of gave them new sculpts, you know?
That's what I was going to say. It just looked like a newer version of a G.I. Joe.
So it's hard for me to see that and do that because I'm not imaginative like that, I guess. So whenever I was going to see it, expecting a 6-inch, I was wanting it to be as close to what I remember as possible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks good. I'm still going to order it. I had canceled my order on Wave 1 whenever I saw this, and then I was like, well, let me still get it.
Daniel, is this from the same as the Snake Eyes that they released, or is this something separate? Okay.
Yeah, this is Wave 2 of that.
Oh, that's bad. I like that. That's bad. I like that angle right there. I like it.
So I wouldn't have minded if the silver mask would have been a little bit more reflective.
Right.
That wasn't a bad picture of a reflection there, but this to me it's not. It's too gray.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, like you said, Wally, the way the mask kind of comes in like that instead of folding backwards. I don't know. He kind of looks like an emperor, like a Napoleon or something to me in this kind of picture.
So
that's what it kind of feels like. Yeah.
I don't know how well y'all can see this picture on the screen, but you know, that's from the actual cartoon. That's an image from the actual cartoon. So I can see where it's, you know, they didn't follow exactly. But
so then there's another release. I don't know if you got that picture or not, Phil.
I do.
All right, so this is a network NTWRK exclusive that you can actually go out and try to get tomorrow. It's that lighter blue color, and this one I like better than that darker blue because the lighter blue is what we're kind of used to, I think.
Okay, so it only get it through network?
Yep.
Okay. I've done one order with them, and I got the remember the MP10 Optimus Prime Masterpiece Ghostbuster collaboration? I ordered that from network. That's the only time I've ever really seen them even doing this kind of stuff. So that's interesting. Interesting. All right, and one of the things I wanted to cover was this Mezco Superman. So this thing about broke the internet this week.
Ooh, can't wait.
Man, I went in and did my pre-order for this guy. He's a Mezco exclusive.
Yes.
You getting him, Ross?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got your pre-order in?
Yes, got it in.
Yeah, so you can
I
see.
know it's big. I'm sorry. I know it's big bad, but it's no telling when I get it. I'll probably get it in 2021 or something. I don't know.
You can watch my review. Since I'm ordering straight from Mezco, you can watch my review. But he's already on wait list with Mezco Direct. But I really, he's not perfect. You know, I kind of wish the soft goods were a little tighter, and maybe they will be. They still have time to do some things on.
Right. Right.
But that face sculpt right there, to me, is perfection.
That's Christopher Reeves, definitely.
It is.
Yes.
They did a great job. And I don't even collect Mezco. I went through a phase where I collected Mezco. I don't collect Mezco currently. I don't have any. I sold every Mezco figure I had. But I want this guy, and I'm hoping they'll do an 89 Batman at some point, unless they've already done it and I've missed it. I don't know. Ross, you may know that. Have they?
What, like a Michael Keaton?
Yeah, the Michael Keaton. Have they done that?
No, Mezco haven't done a Michael Keaton yet.
Okay.
NECA has, but not Mezco.
NECA did, yeah. So I'm hoping, my hope, because as a kid, I watched this and 89 Batman so much, I'd love to have those two posed together. You know, I think that would be a really cool look on a shelf. Now, this is one problem I had right here. Look at this smile.
Nope.
I don't like that face.
I don't really know what to say about that. You know, that's probably what's happening. That's probably what's coming for us. I don't know that they would do a lot of sculpting changes at this point, you know, now that it's up for pre-order and, you know, release is not that far around the corner. So we'll have to see. My guess is that's probably what's coming, but I thought you get some of the Fortress with him as well, which is pretty cool, a light-up feature here. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have something else to pose him with, you can pose him with kind of the control board of the Fortress of Solitude, and it should look pretty good on your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And there's everything that he comes with. So you get a pretty good amount of accessories. I know you pay for it, you know, with Mezco, but
like you said, Philip, I hope this just an early image prototype, because them shorts look like big grandmama draws on right there, man.
It does, man. It looks like your dad's tidy whities that he's wore for 5 years too long. It is too big, man. So I hope maybe they'll tighten all that up, you know, by release time. I'm sure they will.
Well, that picture right there you just showed looked like a Mego, if y'all remember those old Megos.
Yeah, that ain't what we want. We don't want our figures to look like Megos, man. And then the next thing I wanted to just throw out there was the Iron Man SH Figuarts, Tony Stark. So this is going all the way back to the first Iron Man movie. We all can remember that. I'm sure, what was that, 2008, I think, maybe, when that first movie came out. So this one I probably will not get just because I don't typically collect MCU figures, but I thought it was a good release. It's probably something that a lot of guys would like to fill a hole in their collection with. And it actually comes with an entirely different upper torso, which we don't see very often with a figure. You know, how often do you get a figure and then a whole half a body, you know? So I thought that was pretty neat. This section here, from the pants up, is a whole separate torso. So it's pretty cool that they're going to do that. Comes with some accessories here if you want to, you know, pose him as, you know, how he was in the cave when he was building his, you know, Mark I, Iron Man Mark I suit. So, yeah, pretty cool. That's all I got for toys. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump into our discussion topics.
All right. I just want to talk about price gouging. You know, once it get to a third-party source, a Mercari, eBay, and this is my personal thoughts. It's going to be real interesting to see what y'all think. But I think, Philip, I sent you a long text on like a NECA twin pack, the Batman and the Joker Alien. I think the combo is like 115, but they, you know, they get the package and sell them separately, which maybe the Alien will go for, I've seen them go for like 30, 40 bucks. But that Batman, cause you know, Alien, you've seen them all, just different paint, you know what I'm saying? But that Batman is a different sculpt, and I mean, it actually looks good, and I think people know what people want. I mean, I actually seen $94 just for the one figure. They separate them, $94 for the Batman, and you can get the whole pack for 115, something like that.
And that was a $60 pack retail.
Right.
$60
right.
retail.
Right. And I think another example, I'm gonna hold this up because I still hit myself in the head for doing it, but whatever. Mezco, Michael Myers. Once this sold out, $80 figure. I paid double for it on Macari, and I can see people trying to make a little money, like selling for $20, $30 more than what the retail price was. But I just went and looked at him today on Macari, my $304. I said, what are these people thinking? So yeah, I like to hear y'all thoughts on that.
So Phil knows my thoughts on it. I have to make money in order to keep collecting. I have to make a profit on what I sell, or I can't even collect anymore. And you know, you'll call me a price gouger, but I'm putting it out there for the prices that I see it going for already. You know, I'm not asking more than what I'm seeing it going for. So I mean, it's like gold, I guess. You know, the value just keeps on going up, which is one reason why I can still say to my wife, hey, I'm making money. What do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
She does not like us collecting.
Well, before we go on, see, I haven't gotten into the selling part yet. Maybe I'll think differently. I'll just buy. I ain't sold shit. Excuse me, I ain't sold nothing on this thing. But yeah, maybe. But okay, you saying, okay, if you take an $80 figure, Daniel, and you just like, you know, see what it's going for before you price yours, or you just automatically have like a estimate of what you'll sell it for?
Well, Phil knows me. I'm a database kind of guy, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see what all something's going for. I'll go out there and find the average price that it actually has sold for, and I'm going to kick it out there for that price. If somebody doesn't want it, it'll sit on my shelf because I still love it.
Right. Okay.
So I will sell something at a price that it'll sell in the quickest amount of time. I don't sell to make money. Ross has actually ended up on the benefit, the winning end of that. In fact, that's how me and Ross met. Was I sold Ross my Flame Toys Optimus Prime, and I can remember us having a lot of discussion before he even bought it. We didn't know each other. We were just discussing the figure and the price, and I kind of explained to him that you know, I completely understand Daniel's side of it. You collect and let your hobby refund your hobby, right? So I get that. When I'm done with something, I'm just done with it. You know, I'm not out there. I don't even, I typically kind of in my head think, well, I paid $100 for this figure. So if I get $100 for it, then good, so be it. I'm going to lose $10 in my eBay fees, you know, so I'm gonna lose money almost every time. But I'm not one of these guys that wants to. I move in and out of collections really fast. Daniel can tell you that. Daniel can't hardly keep up with what I collect, and we talk all the time about our collections and what we're buying. And you know, one week I'm Marvel Legends. I've been Marvel Legends at least maybe 2 times before.
It's the third time.
This is the third time, and I just sell the whole collection. Last time I had a collection that was about a $3,000 collection. I sold it for $1,200. I just don't. I don't collect to make money. I collect because I love doing it. And when I'm done with it and I get my mind focused on something else, I just want to get rid of what I got, and whatever I get for it, and then move on to whatever's next in my, in my mind.
So as I go through my collections and talk about them in my videos, I do get comments in there saying that I'm not a true collector because I'm collecting to try to make money. That if you're a true collector, you're not in it to make money. So I've been shamed for the fact that I have to sell in order to keep on going. Pretty much.
Right.
I mean, personally, for me, I see all sides of it, but it's the same in everything, whether we're talking about comics, whether we're talking about art, whether we're talking about the sneaker game. Like, there's always going to be a market where there's people moving as a business. You know what I'm saying? For me, I just put it in perspective. Is it worth the price to me? And if it's not, I don't spend, And if it is, then I do spend, because I also want the freedom if I ever decide to sell or get rid of something that I have, to base it on whatever the current market is, which is just business. You know what I'm saying? Good business. Like, what's the market value? No different if I had bought a car that appreciated all of a sudden for some reason, and I can get, I can morally say, oh, I'm gonna only sell it for what I paid for it. But from the business standpoint, you always want to try to make some sort of profit. You know what I mean? So I understand both sides of it. We did the sneaker release with Nike, and the 10 minutes after buying sneakers, people were outside reselling. You know what I'm saying? And then he had other people who were there purely as collectors. Like, I want the shoe. It's a collector's item to me. I'm going to hold on to it. But even in holding on to it, if you ever have a tough moment in life where you just need to move some stuff or whatever, like, I've seen people sell collections because their wife was tired of it being home, or they needed to buy a new home, or, whatever the case may be, and they benefit from that market value being whatever it is at that moment, but they might have held that collection for years before finally deciding to get rid of it. So, I think there's a balance to it all. Personally, I think there's a balance to it all. And for me, I just kind of, whatever makes sense for me, if I want it bad enough, then I may spend a little bit more. And if I feel like that's crazy, I just won't buy it. But I respect the fact that other people can, make whatever they can make out of it. Because for some people, these markets have become side jobs for them, or has become their full-time way of eating. And, it does get bad sometimes when you want something. Because I've heard collectors say, hey, in every walk of life, say, hey, the diehard collectors can't get it because the resellers get it. And, that meant that somebody who really appreciated it couldn't have it. And I understand that side of it too. It makes it hard all the way around. But I think at the end of the day, one way that can change is how many of these items are available, which goes back to the manufacturers and them deciding to make things limited or not. But I think that's also part of the chase and the beauty of collecting too. Like, you kind of decide what's a grail to you, what means whatever it means to you. You know what I mean? Like, if it's that valuable, then you just the hunt and then trying to negotiate the best that you can if you missed it early on. You know what I mean? So I understand all sides of it, but I just look at it like, I have to just respect the entirety of the ecosystem that it becomes. That's just my views,
Yep.
All right. That's a good point. I mean, like I said, I've never been on the selling side. That's why it was good to hear, from Daniel, you, Wally. But I do want to appreciate Philip. I did get the Prime for $100 cheaper. So, thank you, Philip.
Yeah, I took the loss so loss to get the Prime. But and just to kind of wrap up that topic, I think where we really run into a problem in the collecting world is take something like the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, the Bebop Rocksteady stuff. When you got these guys that go in and it's a Monday morning, they put 5 out, and a guy goes in and buys 5, so that he can go sell them. He can go sell a $50 set for $110 on eBay that afternoon. To me, that's where the real problem lies. Somebody like Daniel taking a figure he's had for 5 years and benefiting from the fact that over 5 years that figure has grown in value. That's really that's kind of petty to say he's not a collector because he's not taking advantage of the fact that he bought a figure. You know, Daniel's not going and buying all the Marvel Legends that Walmart has. You know, he's buying one of every figure in the wave and then reselling them. So, you know, that's, you can't call somebody out for not being a collector because they benefit off of that. Whereas I do believe it's very wrong. It's scalping, in my opinion, for a guy to go in there and buy, you know, 5 of the latest Wolverine figure just so that Walmart's now sold out. So me and Daniel can't go pick one up for retail price. So we're having to go to eBay to try to fill the gap, you know. So that's just my thoughts on that.
Well, even after what Daniel said, I mean, that never crossed my mind. Just because you take a figure and sell it, you're not a collector. I mean, you obviously can see that he's a collector. You know what I'm saying? So that really never crossed my mind.
Well, not for you, but like he said, he's had people literally comment on his videos and say he's not a collector because he, you know,
making a profit.
Yeah, but you know, that's the internet, man, and there's always gonna be people who get their joy out of trying to troll other people. You know,
you're right.
You see those people in person, and their energy's not the same. And I always tell people online, if you can't say it in person, then don't say it on the internet. Like, just stay the same person, and everything is cool. Because I promise you, if we ran into those same people and recognize who they were and say, hey, what were you saying about Daniel earlier? Oh, no, I love Daniel. He's the greatest guy ever. He's a great collector.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just got to learn to, which I'm sure it don't bother you, Daniel, but we gotta learn to knock that off. We're gonna have people commenting on these things like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Like, who are they to start a channel? Like,
hey, don't worry, they haven't changed my point of view on it.
That's right.
Cool.
Hey, I enjoy people's perspective personally. You know, I say if you don't agree with me, put it out there, because I like hearing what you got to say. You know, obviously constructively and in a, you know, in a mature way. But I enjoy the debate. You know, I enjoy that. Let's move into our next topic, Daniel. You got a topic for us. What you got?
So I want to talk about who is your definitive Batman actor over all these years. We've gone from 1966 to now 2020, and we've had, 7 different actors playing Batman? Is that right?
Yeah, 7.
So, you know, we start off with the Adam West, which, you know, of course it was after my time, I guess, or before my time, I should say. And I was just watching the reruns, but, you know, that was every Sunday morning I was watching that Batman, and that was the pow, bang, boom. That was Batman. That was like the comic books coming alive to me, you know. But then in '89 we got the Michael Keaton. So for years, until we had Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton was my Batman.
I agree.
Now, when I go back and look at the Christian Bale trilogy, I love the movies, but I could not stand him and his voice
No, I'm Batman. Why you gotta tell you Batman? You in a suit? I don't get it. And the George Clooney, I read a little bit on. I think the comedian. Gosh, what's his name? Babe, hit me out. What's the comedian on the Clooney Batman? Who was the comedian?
Riddler?
Played in the green suit.
Oh,
you talking about Riddler? Jim Carrey?
Jim
Carrey. Yeah. That was the worst grossing Batman movie out of all of them. George Clooney's.
It was a terrible movie.
Yeah, I think it was Batman and Robin.
It was bad. Yeah.
My fave personally at this point where we are currently is probably Ben Affleck, and that's because I just love that costume. I love that look. My kids call that the old man Batman. That's the Batman I've always wanted to see for years and years. And we've talked about this, Daniel and Phil, but like that Batman, I would have loved to have gotten at least one standalone movie with that Batman. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Affleck's, you know, he did a great job all the way around. Now, if I could have chose that look in a different Bruce Wayne, maybe, but as Batman in general, and even as Bruce, he did a good job, but as Batman, that was my Batman. Hands down, I was, 100% happy with him. Looking back at Michael Keaton, it was cool for the time, but it's interesting how cats didn't even have to work out back then to be Batman. You
right.
Just throw on the bodysuit and go.
Right.
So,
hey, Wally, and another thing about Keaton, he was cool, but if he was to make a move, it seemed like he had to move his whole body.
You know what I'm saying? He looked like the old,
he's like
the old He-Man toys that had to turn like that. And no disrespect, but I'm just not too excited about the new Twilight guy, Twilight boy being Batman. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, but we'll see.
Well, he is going to be loaded with villains, so he might not even be hardly in the movie.
Yeah. But hey, true. If you guys remember, a lot of us had the same thoughts toward Ben Affleck that we're thinking now toward, what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. I thought Ben was going to be great. I despise Pat. I didn't even like Pattinson and anything else he was doing. And I'm a little biased because when I watched, my sister and my wife forced me to go see Twilight, right? Yeah. And when I get in there and he's like, I'm a vampire, ooh, blah blah blah, and I'm thinking he's gonna do something magnificent and gross, and he starts glittering, and that's not his fault. He didn't write the movie. But the fact that he was glittering and shining and looking up into the sky the way he was, I was just like, I despise this guy. So now that he's Bruce Wayne and Batman, like one of my favorite DC characters, like you pick this guy, I almost feel like somebody in some high position was like, how can I get Wally upset? Oh, I know. Let's get the guy that sparkles and get the glitter on him and make him Batman. That'll do it. So, but I'm trying to be patient and wait and see. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
You might have just ruined it for me, man. I'd forgot about the glitter. I totally forgot about the glitter. Oh,
that's like me talking to you guys, and I'm like, yo, I have this terrible, terrible secret. Let me show you. And then I turn the light on, and I start sparkling. Y'all gonna be like, what? Like, that's the problem? That's what's terrible. Like, it's just not gonna fly. Y'all will kick me out of the group. I won't be able to be on here anymore.
Yeah. All right, so round table. So who is your official, Daniel? Who is it?
My official is Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Wally, you already said.
Ben Affleck. I mean, like Wally said, huh?
Everybody's Ben?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Okay, one question, everybody. Like we say Ben Affleck, the infinitive, you think he's the infinitive Batman, though? Like, okay, when you say Superman, who's the infinitive Superman? I say Christopher Reeves.
I'm Henry Cavill, personally. I love Christopher Reeves, but I'm a Cavill guy.
So I love Henry's look, but he's not an actor.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah. I got to think of Christopher Reeves.
I got to go with Christopher Reeves, man.
Yeah.
Can I go with Tom Welling?
Was that the one where he had the baby? Is that
Tom Welling? Smallville?
That's Smallville.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tom Welling was actually a very good Clark Kent, in my opinion. I thought he was a very good Clark Kent. I didn't even think he was that good of an actor. I don't think he's that good of an actor, but I think he was a good Clark Kent.
Yep.
A young Clark Kent.
I got to go with Christopher Reeves, too.
Yeah, Chris Reeves, man. Cool. All right, our last topic, guys. Wally, go ahead and lead us in, and we'll talk about
so, and I guess I should tread carefully as an artist, but I'm just speaking. So DC, from my understanding, because of everything that happened with COVID, has decided to distribute their books in other ways. And it's been a big mixed reaction to that. And I can understand both standpoints. Nobody wants to only have one way of getting their products to people. If something closes down, then you're at the mercy of those individuals, whoever that is. And I think from what I'm gathering, it's been a conversation for longer than this. This was just the excuse or the opportunity to say, we're going to move our distribution routes here instead of just being here. but I don't know if that's 100% true or not. But from what I'm gathering and some of the resources you sent, Phil, and some things I looked up, it appears that there were already issues with Diamond and whether or not they could handle certain things. Most of the retailers had issues with them from time to time, even before this happened. And then there's just the fear of the collapse of Diamond. If that happens, what does that do to the infrastructure for everything else? As an indie, you know, we don't depend on Diamond necessarily. We can go direct to consumer. We can go direct to shops. We can go, you know, we can move a lot of different ways. So for a lot of us, when that happened, people automatically turn to the independent market to say, well, I can get these, even if it takes a little while because of the mail, I can get these products. But I'm not mad at DC. I'm not sure how dealing with Midtown and I forgot who the other company was that they're talking about using. Not sure how that's gonna go, but it'll be interesting to see if this opens a new wave of how things are handled. You know what I'm saying? And what that means to even Diamond, because from what I'm gathering, that's like 30% of their market dealing with DC, or maybe more. So it'll be interesting, you know.
So I'm going to share my screen here again with you guys and pull up a little drawing I've done. So just to kind of break it down, I know y'all would like this, my artistic ability here. Diamond is actually the Superdome. That's what I drew there. But so really to lead into what Wally was discussing there. So right now you've got Marvel, DC, Image, and your indie books are all distributed through Diamond there. And you can see here I use some of our local guys, but Diamond distributes out to Rebel Base and Heroes and Spandex City and DCBS and Midtown, okay? Diamond distributes to all your local comic book shops all over the country, all going one place. So what's happened, just to kind of break it down into layman's terms, is now you have Marvel and your indies going through Diamond, which Diamond is still distributing to our local comic book shops. But DC over here on the left side is now going to have Midtown and DCBS do their distribution. Now, one of the problems with that is Midtown and DCBS, if we go back over here, what were they? They're competition to your local comic book shops, right?
Right.
So you can see them there in the middle. They're the same as a Rebel Base, a Heroes, and a Spandex City, outside of the fact that they may order 1,000 of a book where a Rebel Base may order 50 of a book. So they were already one of the biggest competitors to your local comic book shop as it was, because there's so much with online retail. Now you've given them complete control. So that is one of the biggest concerns for your local comic book shops now, is that they're two of the biggest competitors in the United States, DCBS and Midtown Comics, are now the distributors for DC Comics. And as Wally said, that's like 30–40% of comic book distribution in the United States, probably in the world, because DC is so big. Marvel and DC, they're the big guys, you know. I was talking with one of our local comic book shop owners, and he pointed me back in the direction of Heroes World, which I had no knowledge of whatsoever. Heroes World was a distributor back in the 90s. It was Heroes and Diamond, and there was multiple distributors, like 4 or 5 different distributors. And Marvel decided to buy Heroes World, a distributor, to do their own distribution. And well, that didn't go real well. When Marvel pulled the plug on the other distributors and went with the Heroes World, a lot of those other distributors lost like 35–45% of their income by not being able to distribute Marvel books. At the time, Marvel was, if you guys remember, a lot of those books that I showed you guys that I picked up were huge books. The Youngbloods, the Spawn books, those were all indie books back in the day. But that was during the comic book craze of the 90s, you know, when you had, you know, X-Men #1, you know, this book right here. I can't remember what the print run on this was, but, you know, this is like a $5 book if you don't have it graded and signed, and, you know, because the print run was so large. So when Marvel broke away and said, we're taking our ball and going home, it basically killed off everybody but Diamond. And that's how we end up with Diamond. So now we're going to run the risk now of, can Diamond weather the storm by losing DC? Could it end up being that everybody is going to have to go to their own distribution? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It'll be interesting to see. But, you know, this graph basically shows you what has happened. And then as far as Penguin Random House is also in this. Now, Penguin Random House does a lot of the distribution for like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. So all your graphic novels and your trade paperbacks, omnibus, all of those things are going to be distributed through Penguin Random House. So I think for a comic book shop owner, this is a nightmare. You know, this is a true nightmare. Now, instead of all of their books and everything going through one order catalog, you know, you could potentially have up to 3 or 4 now. Right. You know, with Diamond, Midtown, DCBS, and then Penguin Random House. So I don't know. What do y'all think is going to happen? Where's this going to lead? What's it going to do? Is the price is going to go up? You know, is it going to close our local comic book shops? That's my biggest concern. You know,
I'm thinking because you just took the middleman out for Diamond, that DC's prices might actually be able to drop some. Maybe. If Midtown and DCBS can keep up with it.
Maybe. If Midtown and DCBS can keep up with it, would be a big thing. I don't know, because I haven't done a lot of business with them. I'd be interested for guys that watch this, you know, put in the comments if you have any experience dealing with Midtown DCBS. I've done one order with DCBS. I did an order for the actually Batman #92 that just come out. I did an order with them 3-4 months ago for like 5 of the Art Germ cover, 1 of the 1 in 25 variants. I have still not received those books. They've still not shipped. It just shows that they're in process at DCBS. So I don't know if that's going to be how things are going to go. You know, I would think if you order a book like that, you would typically kind of get it in the same week. That book came out last week. So, and my books still haven't shipped from DCBS. So, you know, that's my only experience with either one of those two as far as ordering books. So I'd be interested to hear from guys in the comments if you've got, you know, any experience actually dealing with those two. So I don't know, this may be more of a to be determined discussion, you know, something we can't really resolve or determine what the outcome is going to be. But I just kind of wanted to bring it up and put it out there. It's definitely going to be something to watch. You know, I'll definitely be asking our local comic book shop owners, you know, hey, how's it going? Like, how's this affecting you? Because I would like to know, you know.
And this takes effect what, in the end of July or end of June?
I think it takes effect now.
No, I
think they had extended. I think they extended at the end of July or something like that.
Okay, so it is extended. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it will be a little while before we actually see the repercussions of it. And I guess even our local comic book shops before they see the repercussions of it.
Well, the big question is, why don't they just use Amazon, since that's where everything's going?
That's true. Yeah. Built-in infrastructure, because I'm trying to figure out if Midtown even has the infrastructure to handle what's about to happen.
That's a good question, man. You would, you know, something that I guess is Midtown handling like East Coast and DCBS handling West Coast? Are they breaking it up, or how does a comic book shop owner know to order from Midtown or DCBS, or is it broken?
That's the other question. I don't think that DC has given anybody any real guidance yet on how this is going to work.
Scary. Scary. I don't know that I would want to be a comic book shop owner having to deal with this right now. You know, because a lot of comic book shops are struggling already.
Right.
You know, with everything that's going on, the hits they've taken as far as income and books not coming in, and you know, Marvel's like an every other week thing right now, and a lot of the titles are not getting put out. So I know it's been a struggle for comic book shops. So it'll be interesting. You just have to hope that Midtown DCBS does not take advantage of their new knowledge, because at this point they're going to have full knowledge of every comic book shop in this nation. They're going to know what their inventory levels are. They're going to know how much they're selling. And being that they have such a large online presence, you just have to hope they don't take advantage of that and it end up filtering down to the brick and mortars, and we lose our brick and mortar comic shops over this, you know? So,
True indeed.
and you have to hope that the other ones, you know, or maybe it'd be a good thing, you know, if one of them does it, they all do it, or none of them do it. You know, maybe Marvel breaks off at some point and follows suit. You know, if I guarantee you, if it works for DC, you're going to see other publishing companies doing the same. You know,
True, very true.
so will be interesting to see. We'll have to do an updated one down the road and see if we've seen any differences, or if we talked to any of our local comic shop owners, see if they have any opinions or what they can share with us on how it's working out. Be good to know. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our discussion topics for the evening and wraps up our cast.
Well, I got one question before we go, though, Phil.
Yeah.
I would feel terrible to leave here and we don't at least speak on it. PlayStation 5, pre-order or no?
I'm in.
What system have you not ordered?
That's true. That's true. That's true. The question is, what TV is it going to go on? That's the real question, you know?
Yeah, I
I got
mean,
my original Nintendo, man. What you talking about?
I know you do. I know you do. Yeah, I think Daniel's asked me over to play video games one time. What was that on? What was that we were playing that time? It was some kind of fighting game. Zach was playing it.
If it was on Nintendo, you know it was blocky.
It wasn't Nintendo. It might have been Wii, maybe. I can't remember.
Oh, we played an X-Men game. You talking about that fighting X-Men game?
That's it. Yeah.
That was back on the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
That was X-Men Next Dimension, I think is what it was called.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in, though. I'm in, man. That Miles Morales teaser, man, that put me in. I'd buy the whole system for that one game, period.
Yeah, I'm definitely in. I'm all in. I hate to buy the first one and then they release some special edition something, and I'll be really mad at that point. So
right. Or the first one come out and it's got all kinds of flaws and
bugs.
That too.
But hey, I'll be in it if it does. So we'll see. I'm hoping too they'll continue the Batman games as well.
I'm pretty sure they will. I'm pretty sure.
Because
AT&T got to make some money back somewhere. So
yeah. Well, cool. Ross, you got any final words for us, bud?
Oh, well, I liked all the conversations, especially on price gouging. Wally and Daniel gave me a new perspective on that, so I appreciate that.
Cool, man. Daniel, you got any final words for us?
No, man, just get out there and check out our channels.
That's it, man. Definitely check out our channels: Man Cave Collectibles, Custom Comics, ZacJacDan, and then Mr. Wally does not have a channel, as he made clear last week. But as we move through time, we're going to talk more and more about Wally and the things Wally's working on in the comic book world. So maybe that'll give folks an opportunity to support there as well.
Hey, Wally, your hat look good, man.
I appreciate that. People want to grab one, they can go to bigcartel.com, Gorilla Bread. Shameless plug.
Get it out there, bud. It's a nice hat. That's a nice hat. All right, guys. Everybody check out our channels. Until next time, leave comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have a good one.